A lot of solar PV modules are nowadays available in the market, having almost similar technical ratings and similar warranty terms. Sometimes it becomes very difficult for a user to select the right solar PV modules for their applications. Hi, welcome to SolarTech Sarthi. In this video, we'll discuss on which factors should be considered while selecting the solar PV modules. We'll be confining ourselves to the technical factors for selecting the solar PV modules for your rooftop projects. The first factor we'll discuss upon is the efficiency of the solar PV module. It is always said that a higher efficiency solar PV module will generate a higher energy, but this is not always true. To understand this, let's see how a efficiency of a solar PV module is calculated. Here is a data sheet from one of the manufacturers having different ratings of solar PV modules. Now let's see here. The 480 watt peak module has a efficiency of 20.1%, while a 505 watt peak module has a efficiency of 21.1%. But you will see that in the module dimensions, the physical size of both the modules 480 watt peak and 500 watt peak is same, that is 2.176 meter and 1.098 meters. So we have two different rated modules with two different efficiencies while the physical size is same. So to calculate the efficiency, we have to use this formula: rated power of solar PV module at STC, that is standard test conditions, multiplied by 100, divided by irradiation at again standard test conditions, multiplied by area of module. Now from the previous example that we have just seen, we'll calculate this efficiency for a 480 watt peak module. So efficiency is equal to, you will put the 480, what that is the power rated of the module, multiply by 100, divided by 1000, that is the irradiation at STC or peak sun, we would say that, multiply by 2.176, multiply by 1.098, that was the area of the module. So here the efficiency comes out to be 20.09%. Similarly, we'll calculate the efficiency for a 505 watt peak module, again putting the values in the formula. Efficiency is equal to 505 multiplied by 100 divided by 1000 multiplied by again module area. So in this case the efficiency is coming out to be 21.13%. That is what we have seen in the data sheet also. Now we'll consider two scenarios. Scenario 1, we have two systems. One is 10 kilowatt peak system with 480 watt peak modules, that is having the efficiency of 20.09%, we have just calculated. And the second system again is a 10 kilowatt peak system with 505 watt peak modules, that is having the efficiency of 21.13%. Again we have just calculated both of those efficiencies. So now in this scenario, since the installed capacity of the solar PV modules is same, that is 10 kilowatt peak, so selecting a 20.09% module, that is 480 watt peak module, or a 21.13% efficient module, that is 505 module, does not make any difference. The energy output would be same. In the scenario 2, again we have two different models. First model is with a 20 number of 480 watt peak modules having an efficiency of 20.09%, and the second model is 20 numbers of 505 watt peak modules, efficiency of 21.13% here. Now since in this scenario the number of modules is fixed and not the system capacity, hence the energy generation from the 505 watt peak module would be more when compared to the 20 numbers of 480 watt peak modules, because in this case the reason for higher generation is the higher installed capacity. In case of first model, that is 20 numbers of 480 watt peak modules, we have 9.6 kilowatt peak as the rated capacity, while in the second model 20 numbers of 505 modules will give us 10.1 kilowatt peak. So there is a trade-off between 10.1 kilowatt peak versus 9.6 kilowatt peak. Hence, the energy generation in the 505 watt peak modules would be more in this particular scenario. So A higher efficient module is not beneficial if the installed capacity of a solar PV project is fixed, as we have seen in the scenario 1, where the 10 kilowatt was the project capacity and that was constrained. So in that scenario, whether you use a lower efficient module, whether you use a higher efficient module, it does not matter. But a higher efficiency solar PV module should be selected if there is a space constraint to meet the expected solar PV installed capacity, as we have seen in the scenario 2, where the project capacity was not fixed, but the number of modules were fixed. So in the scenario where we have space constraint, we should go for a higher efficient solar PV module. The second factor we'll discuss is the temperature coefficient of power. From the basics of solar PV module, we know that as the cell temperature increases, the module power decreases. So let's have two sample modules. This is the datasheet of module sample 1 and this is the datasheet of module sample 2. We can see here that the module sample 1 has a temperature coefficient of power as 0.36% per degree Celsius. This means that with the 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature from the STC, that is 25 degrees Celsius, the power will decrease at a rate of 0.36% per degree Celsius. While in the module sample 2, we can see that the temperature coefficient of Pmax is 0.350% per degree Celsius. Again, with the 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature from the STC, that is 25 degrees Celsius, the power will decrease at a rate of 0.35%. So a module with a lower temperature coefficient of power should be selected if the project is designed for higher temperature regions. From the example, we can see that the module sample 2, that is having 0.35% per degree Celsius as a temperature coefficient, in this case the loss in power will be less when compared to the module sample 1, where the temperature coefficient of power is 0.36%. The next factor to consider is the NOCT value of the modules. This value is indicated on the module datasheet by the manufacturers and is used to calculate the module cell temperature. The maximum cell temperature is calculated by adding maximum ambient temperature plus the NOCT value minus the 20 degrees Celsius. This is the formula to calculate the maximum expected cell temperature at a site. Now we have two sample modules. This is the datasheet of module sample 1 and this is the datasheet of module sample 2. Here the module sample 1 has a NOCT value of 45 plus minus 2 degrees Celsius, while the module sample 2 has a NOCT value of 41 plus minus 3 degrees Celsius. Now let's calculate the maximum cell temperature that could be for this module sample 1 and module sample 2 for a same region. Let's consider that the maximum ambient temperature is 45 degrees Celsius where both the modules are being tested. So for the module 1, the maximum expected cell temperature could be 45 degree is the maximum ambient temperature, 47 is your NOCT values of module 1, that is 45 plus 2, that is the worst case scenario here, minus 20. So using the formula we can conclude that the maximum cell temperature of module 1 for the ambient temperature of 45 degree is 72 degrees Celsius, while for module 2 the maximum possible cell temperature comes out to be 69 degrees Celsius since the NOCT value here is 44. So we can see that for a same region where the ambient temperature is same, that is 45 degrees Celsius, the cell temperature of module 1 is on a higher side when compared to the module 2. Hence, a module with a lower NOCT value is always preferable because a lower NOCT value will lead to a lower cell temperature and a lower cell temperature will lead to lower power losses in that case scenario. Another factor to consider is the power tolerance of solar PV module. In the market, we have two types of solar PV modules available, one with a negative power tolerance, another with a positive power tolerance. Let's have an example for both of these types. a module with a negative power tolerance would come like this: 350 watt peak, this is an example, plus minus 5% of the power tolerance. Now in this scenario, when there is a plus 5% of a power tolerance, this leads to the power rating of 367.5 watt peak, that is on the higher side, and a minus 5% of a power tolerance, that is a negative power tolerance, will lead to a power rating of 332.5 watt peak, that is on the lower side. So if you select a power module of 350 watt peak and having a plus minus, that is both positive and negative tolerance of 5%, then the module power rating would vary from 332.5 to 367.5 of the power ratings. So you will not get 350 every time. You may get less than 350 also, that is 332, and you may get more, that is 367 in this case. But if we have a positive tolerance solar PV module, again, let's say we have 350 watt peak module with a positive tolerance. Now in this scenario, we have 0 plus 5%. That means there is no negative tolerance. In this scenario, the higher plus 5% watt peak module will lead to a power rating of 367.5 watt peak, that is the higher side. And since the negative is not there, so the lower side would be 350 watt peak. Now, if one selects a positive tolerance solar PV module, that is 350 watt peak with a 0 plus 5% power tolerance, the power rating of the module selected would be between 350 watt peak and 367.5 watt peak. It will never go below 350 watt peak. Hence, a positive power tolerance solar PV module should be preferred over negative power tolerance PV modules, because we'll get a higher power rating in that scenario. So you should always select a positive power tolerance PV module. So these were the major factors that one should consider while selecting a solar PV module for the rooftop project. We have summarized those parameters into this table. So price should be competitive, availability commercially available. The module should not only be available on the website of the manufacturer, but it should be commercially available in the market. Fill factor should be higher side, NOCD should be on the lower side, temperature coefficient of power should be lower side, efficiency higher if the space is a constraint, power tolerance should be positive, number of cell bus bars should be higher, number of bypass diodes should be higher, PID, the module should be PID free. So this is a small table to summarize what should be the best choice for a solar PV module. Thank you for watching this video. Do share if you like this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more such videos. This article is also available on our website, the details of which are given in the link below. If you have any suggestions or any questions, do write to us.